everyone, and welcome to my channel. If this is your very first time on this channel, I want to say a very warm welcome to you. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for staying with us. My name is Coach Onyinye Okoye. I have well over a decade of experience with businesses, and I'm here to teach you, or should I say show you, things that I have done in order for me to get out of business depression. Yes, there is something like business depression, and I'm sure one or two or some of us have experienced it before. You know that feeling when it's not as if you don't want to work, you want to do the work, but you just can't find yourself doing it, right? You pick up your phone to do work, but you're not motivated. You open your laptop, but you're completely not motivated to do anything, right? You are giving it your all, but you just seem restricted, like there's something pulling you back. You feel overwhelmed. I just want to let you know this. Number one, you're not lazy. Number two, you are not stuck. Number three, you are not alone. You're not the only person experiencing this, right? So in this video, I'm going to share with you some tips that can help take you out of business depression. And my tip number one is this. You have to name it first. You have to name what you're feeling. You have to be able to pinpoint what the issue is. Now, a lot of people will just say things like, oh, maybe I should just be grateful, right? Or I'm not the only one going through this. Other people are going through this. Sometimes we try to say things, that would console us. However, it's very important that we name it, right? Because the truth is, business depression shows up in different ways. It can be loss of motivation, right? It can be self-doubt. You look into yourself and you're like, I can't do this. You have massive self-doubt, loss of motivation, feeling behind in life, feeling that you have totally lost it. But once you're able to name what that particular feeling is, until you're able to name it, you will not be able to fix it. So name the problem itself, right? Name what is overwhelming you, or name what has put you in that position. You have to be able to name the problem, because until you identify it, you will not be able to solve it. Number two, you have to learn how to separate your identity from your results. Now, a lot of people become the business. It's not just that somebody is doing a business, they become the business. So when the business fails, they feel like a failure. When they are not able to make sales, they feel totally lost. They feel completely broken. When they are not able to recruit or to make deals, they feel like their own life don't finish. But you really need to understand that you need to separate your identity from your results, right? Yes, your business has an identity of its own. You are the owner, the CEO of your business, but you need to separate the results you get from who you are. That someone told you no doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It's very, very important. Now, your business performance should not determine your personal worth. Please, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes, right? Your business performance should not determine your personal worth. I have been there. Sometimes I'll feel like an imposter. Sometimes I'll feel like, can I really do this? I'm overwhelmed. But I need to remind myself that I am Onyinye Okoye. I am blessed. I am able. I am capable. I need to really separate my identity from the result, because if I allow the result to overwhelm a sense of who I am, it's going to affect every area of my life, right? Especially your business, and then it keeps you in that depressed state, and you're not able to break through. So separate your identity from your results. Number three, you need to stop consuming negativity. Now, when you find yourself in business depression, you need to stop listening to people who are depressed in business as well. You need to stop listening to people who would only feed you negativity. No sales, your own is even small, you've not made sales for 1 week. My own is even 1 month, or you're even complaining. Don't feed your mind with negativity. Don't hang around people that will make you feel worse of yourself, right? So stop diminishing thoughts about yourself, about your business, about your past, about your future, right? About your present. It's very, very important. See, you cannot heal while you are constantly consuming negativity. If your business is down, if you're experiencing a downturn in your business, but instead of you to keep your eyes focused on positivity, instead of you to find people around you that would motivate you, inspire you, pull you up, you keep surrounding yourself with negativity. In fact, you would notice that anytime you scroll on social media, it's one failed business or the other. It's something depressing. So you really need to understand that you should not consume negativity. If you're battling with business depression, hang around people that would be positive, right? My next tip is this: shrink the goal and save your mind. If you're battling business depression, you need to be able to shrink your goal. Now, most times when we are battling business depression, it's because we're probably not achieved what we want to achieve. We couldn't meet our deadlines. We are probably not making sales. We are not making the turnover we have set out to make, or something is just making the business, really depressing. So what you can do is to shrink your goal. So if your goal was to make ₦1 million a month, for example, reduce it to 100,000. And then after you've hit that milestone, you can now go on to the next thing. Also reduce your to-do list, your action list. Shrink it. If before you were super active, you were able to do this, but now that you're trying to come out of that depressed state, reduce, your workload for a period until you get out of it. Break it into small steps. So let's say you're in network marketing, just tell yourself, okay, 2 new people a day, that's all. And then by the time you break it down into small steps, because you have shrunk your goal, you're definitely going to find success, right? Now, let me say this. I wrote this down and it's very, very important. Let me read it out. Small wins restore confidence. If you're trying to come back to business, but you set extremely high goals for yourself, the moment you're not able to hit that goal, you're going to go deeper into depression. So as someone who's coming back into business or who is stepping out of depression, set little goals, because small wins restore confidence. And I also said confidence restores your momentum. And momentum is what is going to bring your business to life. Now let's move on to the next point. The next point is this: you need to talk to someone who understands you. Be it a mentor, an upline, a prayer partner, your spouse. Talk to someone who would understand you. Isolation makes business depression worse. Isolation makes business depression worse. In network marketing, I've seen downlines who isolated themselves because they are not feeling their best, but it sinks you deeper, and by the time they want to come back to it, it's really difficult. The same thing with your business. You used to sell hair, you used to sell clothes, you used to sell shoes, and you were really doing well, but all of a sudden it seems like business went down, right? The more you isolate yourself and the more you stay away from the business, guess what? The deeper into that depression you're going to go. If you've watched this far, please hit the like button, drop a comment, let me know if you're finding value at all, right? That brings me to point number 6. Remember why you started in the first place. Anytime I feel weak, I go back to my vision board and I remember why I started. Why did I start this business in the first place? What is my why? What hurts me, right? What hurts you? What makes you cry? What's that motivating factor that made you say yes in the first place, right? So once you're able to do that, you're going to be able to reconnect the dots. Having a why is very important. Remembering why you started. Remembering the successes you have done before. If Onyinye could do it before, Onyinye can do it again. If I can do it before, I can do it again, because I'm the one who did it. So I just need to believe in myself. I need to remember what I have done, how I did it, and I need to retrace my steps, one step at a time, one small goal at a time. Right? So it's very, very important that you remember why you started. What's your why? What's your vision? What's your goal? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What are those things that you really want to achieve? So these are some of the things you really need to go back to so that you're able to reconnect the dots together. Now, I'm going to round up by saying this: business depression is real, right? Business depression is real. You can be making sales and still feel overwhelmed. You can be hardworking and still feel tired. That's the truth. You can be active and still feel like an imposter. But the only way to attack these things is to, first of all, name what is making you feel that way. Number 2, stay away from negativity. Number 3, you need to separate your identity from the results. that someone tells you no or someone curses you out is not you the person is talking about, right? Separate your identity from the result. Stop consuming negativity. Shrink your goal into little pieces, because as you're trying to come back to business, don't set extremely high targets for yourself. And then take action plans that will get you there. Talk to someone who understands. Go around people who have experienced it and have come out of it. Go around people with positive vibes, people who will pull you out of it, right? And finally, remember why you started in the first place. Now, I wrote this down and I'm going to read it out. I said, business depression does not mean that your story is ending. What did I say? Business depression does not mean that your story is ending. It simply means that you are just in a difficult chapter or a difficult phase. And because it's a chapter, that chapter will close and another chapter will open. Because it is a phase, that phase is going to be over and you're going to step into another phase. So it's just a phase, it's just a chapter, and you're not being punished, but rather you're being prepared. You're not being punished, but rather you're being refined. And by the time you come out at the other side, you're going to come out with more wisdom. You're going to come out with tenacity. You're going to come out with doggedness. You're going to come out with fresh passion. So look at that phase as a phase while you actively take steps to come out of it, breaking down your goal, making your goals smaller, celebrating every little win, and then increasing your goals as you go, right? And remember, do not associate the results you're getting to who you are. If not, you're going to mess up your mind, right? So I really truly hope you've gotten value from this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. If you have a team member or team members or anyone around you who is currently facing business depression, please share this video with that person. That person is not alone. You are not alone. I have experienced it. I'm probably still going to experience it. But these are steps that I, I am using in order to always quickly bounce back from any sort of overwhelmingness or depression that I feel. My name is Coach Onyinye Okoye, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you on the next video.